Shalom, Kal Halal Yahawah, baha sham Yahawashi, baha sham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do rule and teach well in this truth. And shalom to all the brothers out there that are pushing this word in sincerity and in truth. I just wanted to bring out a few things about taking the humble route or taking the low road while you walk within this faith, walk within this truth, walk within this ministry. Because it's a shameful thing to put yourself on a high seat and then to be removed in front of everyone, especially those who you hold in high esteem or you consider to be brethren. But this is Luke chapter 14, and I'll start at verse 7. Yeah, verse 7. Luke 14:7. And he put forth a parable to those which were bidden, this he being Yahawashi, when he marked how these chose out the chief rooms, saying unto them, when thou art bidden of any man to a wedding, sit not down in the highest room. So he's saying when you're invited to be a guest at another man's wedding ceremony, don't automatically assume that you're going to be sitting in the highest room. Don't just go to the high chair. Don't say, "Oh yeah, I have a position. I know that guy. Yeah, he wants me here." Lest a more honorable man than thou be hidden of him. So you don't know who's going to show up. You don't know if he invited the highest honorable man in the land to that ceremony. But you putting yourself in a position, assuming that you're supposed to be there, it goes to the phrase, once you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. Meaning you make a fool, because you didn't believe that there was a place for you. Honestly, that's why you made a decision to put yourself in a position instead of being placed, waiting, being patient. Verse 9, and he that bade thee and came, and him come, it's like, let me read that again. Luke 14:9, and he that bade thee and him come and say to thee, give this man place, and thou begin with shame to take the lowest room. So when there's another man of high honor that you're sitting in, that seat you're sitting in, that seat belongs to him, and the person that invited you to the ceremony tells you, this isn't your seat. What are you doing here? I don't know why you decided to sit down. Nobody told you to sit here. You just took it upon yourself to start doing things. Then that's when the shame begins, because you start to see the errors of your ways, that you were being forward and forward by not waiting, by not being patient, by putting yourself in high esteem and not humbling yourself to be placed where you're supposed to be. Because if you're invited to a wedding, obviously there's a spot for you. But that's not for you to decide, because it's not your wedding. But when thou art bidden, continuing in verse 10, go and sit down in the lowest room. So, and this is a parable of this truth, akin to this truth. When you first come in this truth, you don't want to be that brother that says, "Oh yeah, man, I got this. The Lord's been dealing with me. You know what? Let me go ahead and get on the elders level now, the elder apostles. I think I've been in it long enough. I mean, nobody told me, but hey, and that's that wicked spirit on a man. Instead of doing that, like it says in verse 10, go and sit down in the lowest room. Hey, I understand that I'm a part of this truth now, but I'm nobody without Yahawah, baha, sham, Yahawashi. I'm just a man, a wicked man. And without Yahawah, baha, sham, Yahawashi, I would continue to be a wicked man. Without his grace, without his glory, without his power, I would continue unto death. It is through his mercy that we receive life, if it be his will. And that's what it means to go and sit down in the lowest room, not thinking that you're already saved just because you received the name, just because you know that you're an Israelite, because you might be able to break down a few precepts, you might have a little bit of understanding. Those are good things in the truth to build upon, but it's not something that says, okay, that's the mark. He knows 20 precepts. He can break down, like the elders always say, the elder apostles. He can break down Daniel the 9th chapter, Revelation the 18th. That's the check mark. No, even if you have the full breakdown, go and sit down in the lowest room. Continuing, that when he that bade thee cometh, so when the one that invited you, the man that invited you, this being Yahawashi, Yahawah, baha, sham, Yahawashi, that when he that bade thee cometh, he may say unto thee, friend, go up higher. And that word friend, going into the Strongs, so it's Philos. I'm trying to volume here.
384. Philos. Philos.
Let me see. Here we go. Friend, properly, dear. So someone that's dear to you. Actively, fond, an example, friendly, still as a noun, an associate, neighbor. And it really goes back into going back into being a brother. So, like it says, I'm going to read that one more time all the way through. It says Luke 14:10. But when thou art bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room, that when he that bade thee cometh, he may say unto thee, friend, go up higher. Then shalt thou have worship in the presence of them that sat at meat with thee. So that's when it's your time to shine. When you're brought up. Not when you bring yourself up. Not when you put yourself in a high position. It's when you take the low route and you're brought up from that. You're raised up by the one that invited you. You become a guest of honor and not just a guest. And here's the point right here, plain and simple. For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased. And let's get in that word abased. Because like the elder apostles say, you have to know your words, your history. You have to go into this truth. You can't just be surface deep. This truth is deep. But at the same time, you have to have a foundation. You need to be rooted. You have to understand the milk before you can get into the meat. And that word abased, tapainao.
Strong's G 5013. Tapainao. Tapainao.
To make low, bring low. Reduce to a plane. Let's see here. And this one right here. To assign a lower rank or place to. And be a metaphor, to bring into a humble condition. Reduce to meaner circumstances. So right here we can read that as, for whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased. We can replace that with, for whosoever exalteth himself shall be brought to a humble condition. Meaning they will be brought low. But on the flip side, and he that humbleth himself, so he that makes himself low, he that puts himself beneath those shall be exalted. And not beating up on yourself saying, oh, I'm the worst, brother, all this. It's not a competition of who's the worst and who's the best. All you should be concerned about is yourself and being the best servant to Yahawah, baha, sham, Yahawashi that you can be to the best of your ability that He's given you. Shalom.